The last time I had the honor of addressing you here at the Great Synagogue was just a few weeks ago on Rosh Hashanah, celebrating with you the first day of the Jewish New Year. Then I spent Yom Kippur in Malmö, the first time I was able to go to the Jewish community there in 2 years. In order for me to spend the holiest day of the Jewish year, the Jewish calendar, in Malmö, I had to have unprecedented amounts of security. And despite that, just as we were about to pray Ne'ilah, on the holiest day, the holiest moment of Yom Kippur, our prayer was interrupted by demonstrators outside who were shouting and screaming, very, very angry about the fact that we, meaning we, representative of the State of Israel, and all of you collectively, we kidnapped the Swedish activist who were on flotilla to Gaza. Now, unfortunately, this is the reality in Sweden, and as described by the Prime Minister in other places around the world, Great Britain and the United States, and many places around the world. This is the reality with the unprecedented surge of anti-Semitism following the October 7th attack. Now, luckily, I was able to spend the other holidays of Sukkot and Simchat Torah in Israel. This was the best vacation I had in a long time. Of course, celebrating these holidays, but also with the news that came, with the release of the hostages, being able to be on Hostage Square when it was announced that Gili and Ziv Berman are being released, that Alon Oil is coming back, that Avinatan Or, who is the boyfriend of Noah Argamani, this is the great news why she is not with us tonight. Being there on Hostage Square was a moment of joy and optimism. And I felt that there was a closure of a circle. You know, the hostages were kidnapped on Simchat Torah, and the last remaining living ones to return to Israel returned on Simchat Torah. That was an amazing sense of closure. But it hasn't been a closure for everyone. Not all the hostages have returned. Hamas still needs to fulfill its commitment. And we will not rest until all the hostages return. And Hamas is demilitarized and the Gaza Strip is demilitarized and de-radicalized, so that the atrocities of October 7th could never happen again. Now, last year when we were here together to commemorate the first anniversary of October 7th with Staatsminister, I wondered how this day is going to look like. What kind of Memorial Day is this going to be? Is this going to be some kind of Yom HaShoah, Holocaust Remembrance Day, or maybe a different kind of Yom HaZikaron, the Memorial Day for the fallen victims or those who fallen in wars or terrorism? Now we know, with the decision of the government of Israel, that every year on Kaf Daled B'Tishrei, the 24th of Tishrei, which is the Hebrew date of the massacre, we will commemorate the atrocities of October 7th. Now, this is a very symbolic date. This is the first day after the holidays. As we say in Israel, Acharei HaChagim. This is when we finally get back to work. This is when things go back to normal, when things go back to routine. This is how we want to commemorate October 7th, by going back to routine. Now, we hope things will go back to routine, but not everything will. The grotesque accusations against Israel, they're not going to stop. The genie of anti-Semitism, once released from the bottle, I don't know how much time that will take, and that will not easily be contained. Now, there was the question of timing, when we will commemorate and how we will commemorate the October 7th massacre. But there is also the question of content. What should this Memorial Day be about? Now, obviously, it is about the hostages, the ones who were murdered and then taken into captivity, the ones who died in captivity, the ones who have not returned yet. But of course, it's not, October 7th is not, the memory of October 7th is not all about the hostages. Of course, it's about the 1,200 of our brothers and sisters, elderly, women, children, babies, who were murdered, who were tortured, who were burned alive, who were raped, who were brutalized on this terrible day, the biggest massacre of Jews since the Holocaust. But the memory of October 7th will also be about friendship. The true friends we discovered. We all discovered who our true friends are. Some of them showed their real faces very quickly, and for others it took more time. Some stood with us, but said that they were a little bit shy. Some stood with us for some time. But we all discovered who our true friends are. And I think that in memory of October 7th, this memorial should also be about friendship and who our true friends are. Now, you know that there's a concept in Judaism, rooted very deeply in Judaism, which is hakarat hatov, the acknowledgement of goodness. And we actually have in our calendar already a day which symbolizes this and is also a day of after the Chagim, after the long holiday of Passover. There is a day celebrated by Moroccan Jews, which is called Mimuna, which is all about hakarat hatov, which is all about the acknowledgement of the goodness, of the kindness of the Muslim neighbors, who keep the flour, who keep the bread of the Jews while they're not allowed to eat it, and return it to them after the holidays, acharei hachagim. So we already have a concept of acharei hachagim, where we acknowledge the kindness and the goodness of our good neighbors. And this is a reminder to all of us that the sons and daughters of Abraham can live together peacefully, side by side. And I believe that the biggest memory or legacy of October 7th will be peace, and the sisters and brothers and the daughters and the daughters and sons of Abraham living together in the spirit of the Abraham Accords. But mainly, my dear friends, may this Memorial Day be a sign of healing, much needed healing. Our history teaches us that after every pogrom, after every expulsion, we become stronger. And after Shoah comes Kulman, rebirth. Just as the anemones, what we call Darom Adom, the red south, the beautiful flowers that grow over the fields and the area of the Nova Music Festival. Or just like this beautiful pin, this beautiful red flower designed by Niv Tishby. And this is the renewal that grows after a deep and painful wound. A free and democratic, flourishing state of Israel. This is the truest response to the October 7th massacre. May the memory of those deceased on the October 7th be a blessing. Am Yisrael Chai.